another episode of weekend trips away from Newcastle, I guess. We are at Beamish Museum. You may see the bus about there. Beamish Museum is a living history museum, so you can actually see beautiful historic houses full of people, actors, who are wearing historical costumes and just going about their day as usual. It's quite extensive. I've been here a few times. This is probably my 7th time, and I feel like I still haven't seen absolutely everything. But yeah, come along and explore with us today. First things first, if you didn't know, Beamish lies in the countryside south of Newcastle, and it's only about 25 to 30 minute drive away. Although you do not have to take the car, you can easily get here by bus as well. The bus journey takes about an hour, but it's quite regular, and the bus will drop you off right at the main entrance. On this particular afternoon, I was catching up with my friend, so we chose to start the visit in the local cafe right at the main entrance. However, you do not have to stop here by any chance. There's a lot of cafes throughout the whole museum complex. Once you pay for entry, your ticket is valid for a year, which is also the reason why we've been coming here so often. And when you get inside, you have the option to either take historical public transport around, or you can walk around on foot if you like. Today we started with exploring the 1900s pit village, which is built around an actual drift mine. You can also go into the mine if you like. Also there is a colliery to explore and lots of machinery if you're interested in that kind of industrial part of the history. But since we've already done that previously, we decided to have a little peek into the miners' cottages instead. Before you leave the pit village though, do have a look inside the 1900s school. And I wonder what you're going to think, because for me, it was an oddly nostalgic experience, and I promise I'm not even that old, but somehow it reminded me of my childhood. Next, we made a quick stop at the 1940s farms to see a few of the animals, but we didn't linger long before we made a move into the 1900s town. The 1900s town is undoubtedly the most popular part of Beamish, so do expect large crowds, especially midday. My personal top tip would be to come here about an hour before closing time, when you can actually get empty streets and some lovely photo opportunities. And you can also avoid the large queue at the sweet shop. If you do have a sweet tooth, do come here because you will be in heaven. You can choose some lovely vintage treats to buy, and you can also mix and match if you can't decide between two kinds. And if you get really lucky, you can even see them making the sweets in the back room, because most of them are handmade and made right here in Beamish. Then back on the main street you can explore a garage, there is a general convenience store, a chemist, there's even a real pub where you can purchase some ale or a cider. You can also visit the stables, see some of the horses there. There is a bank, there's also newsagents and a photographer, even you can have your photography taken. But my all-time favorite is Heron's Bakery, because I just love the baked goodies they sell here. So I got a little gingerbread, because that's best thing, really, honestly. I really love Beamish gingerbread. It reminds me a lot of gingerbread from Grasmere, so if you're in Beamish, get some gingerbread. Before you hop onto a tram and move into the next section though, make sure to explore some of the residential houses. There is a row of 1900s townhouses, and you can just wander inside and they look exactly as if the residents just left. And because we are no longer in a pit village, we are now in a town, you can see the difference in the lifestyle the people had. There's also usually some actors around. Every visit we stumble across someone new. There's people making scones, there's people embroidering by the fire, and this time there was a gentleman talking about the history of the house. And if you're a fan of creepy vintage dolls, you will not be disappointed here. Today we also paid a visit to the local dentist, but we left feeling quite lucky to be living in the 21st century. And speaking of the future, Beamish Museum is constantly expanding, and one of the newest additions they added is a 1950s town. And here you can visit local hairdressers where you can get your 1950s hairdo done. You can also pop into a cafe, listen to some Elvis Presley while drinking a nice frothy coffee. And soon, when they finish it, you'll be also able to go into a cinema and see a film. And these 1950s houses also recently sprung up. From outside you might be a little bit confused because they do look very modern, but when you go inside you realize that you are truly in the 1950s era. Everything from the pantry to the kitchen to the wardrobe screams 1950s. So that's our afternoon at Beamish done. We've not seen as much today, so I'm sorry I couldn't show you all of it, but more reason for you to come and visit because there is just so much to see. We went to the 1900s town and we've seen some of the farms around 1940s area and a little bit of the pit village from 1900s, but we didn't see any of the 1800s section actually, so come back and check that one out. And bus coming. And we also saw a little bit of 1950s town, which is still being built as we speak, so there'll be more to discover soon. They're just building the cinema and lots more coming actually.
Maybe
so
soon.
yeah, we'll be back at some point. I'm not sure if I will take you back with me, so just come and explore. Beamish is amazing. And although our visit of Beamish was over, I wasn't ready to go home just yet. I still felt like it was a beautiful spring day and I wanted to spend some more time outside. So I decided to pop into a local nature reserve, Hadley Hall Woods, and explore a new area I haven't been to before. There's quite a few of those small nature reserves around the Beamish area, so if you do have the opportunity, I recommend stopping somewhere on your way back. And that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you next time.